we've had a bit of news recently in the city of Sydney,
Yes.
around legionnaires disease. We've got, I think there's a couple of people with it, or a few people with it, and it's spreading. We thought we might just have a quick chat about what that is. Why do we think it's happening?
Yes.
And should we be alarmed or not?
Yeah, I think it's a very relevant topic at the time.
Yeah.
And especially when we have season changing, you're changing from autumn to the winter. And also we had a lot of buildings obviously shut down sort of phase due to the COVID, and everything is opening up, and you had a lot of stagnant water in buildings, especially in the obviously air conditioning system.
Cooling towers, is it? Or?
Yeah, mainly and a lot of dead lags and things, because since it's no use, it's stagnant throughout the water circulation systems. And obviously now everyone is coming back and start utilizing the systems. This is occurring. Anyway, in major CBDs, especially in Sydney, usually this can be a bit common, especially this time of the year. However, I think with the COVID, this would have been made a bit more.
Yeah, because I mean, you can see it in the town now that everything's getting busier again, and there's more people about. We've had a couple of years, as you say, where it's not been the same, I guess.
Yes.
So you reckon it's mainly down to the fact that we're transitioning from it's gone cold in Sydney, believe it or not. It's a massive 13 degrees. We're trying to bring the heating in, turning off the cooling, or we might get a hotter day and it's fighting and whatever. So it's the start of the winter period as well as
obviously each building works different, but if you got stagnant heating system getting activated now with the winter, you would have all that water systems moving through, and through your air conditioning, obviously it's as particles, it could come out, it just caused that. And you can also talk about the things like the water features in buildings, and also the hot water systems, the drinking hot water systems. If you have an open loop system and it's been stagnant for so long and you're trying to open it now, this is what the issue will be.
See, I always thought, and I guess we always think of cooling towers because that's the open system within a air conditioning system, if you like.
Yes.
Cool water. Come in some water. So that was what you treat. You generally treat them systems, keep it, the dosing and the chemicals right and all that sort of stuff. And that, because of the way the cooling tower works, you're getting that water into the air, and as long as it's treated, it's fine. And there's a temperature, I think it's about 38, 36, 37 degrees where it's really critical that Legionella proliferates. Which I've always sort of mainly thought around the cooling side rather than the heating side.
So when we used to obviously manage buildings, we do take a sample of most of the water systems, even places like swimming pools, water features, and then of course on the cooling tower system or your closed loop system, and things like boilers as well. If you have the storage tanks, hot water storage tanks, because most of the buildings got large boiler up in their rooftop or basement, but they also got smaller tanks for their kitchens, for their laundries and things like that. So it's critical that you keep on top of that. And what happens, especially if they're not being used for a long time. So if the system is less than 25 degrees or kept it more than 54 degrees or 55 degrees, ideally 60 is the best, should be fine. But if you're playing in the middle, that's where the challenge is. So it's coming back to your water treatment practices, you having the right maintenance company looking after that, and the cleaning as well, just cleaning.
Keeping up with it. And if the buildings haven't been as occupied or as used as much, I mean, there's nothing to say. We don't really know where this legionnaires come from. You know, I mean, in the cities in Australia, especially, I think it's across Australia, but definitely in New South Wales, you've got to register your cooling tower.
And risk management plan,
and have the plans in place so that, you know, if there's an outbreak, I think it sort of works as a radar around, or if you like, a circle. So if it's getting picked up over here, what they do is they go and look at all the cooling towers and check it. But it might not be the cooling tower. What we're saying, it could well be just the fact that the building's been, I guess, low usage, or whatever you call it, a bit more redundant. Not as much movement of the. And now we're starting to get ready for the winter. People are coming back. It's a bit of a...
I mean, from cooling tower to cooling tower, I was managing a building in CBD, Sydney CBD, but it's almost categorized as the high risk area because of the location, because you've got number of cooling towers across the radius as well. And at the moment, I think it's these 9 or 10 cases, they are in a closer radius proximity. So still, it takes a time as well. I mean, you do a Legionnaires culture test, usually it takes like 14 days to have a good prominent results to come. So it's good be either, but definitely having the water treatment system checked and
good maintenance positioning and all that kinds of things.
There's a lot of technology out there. I mean, the system that I was using in my last building, I was getting alert to my phone. So you have apps where you can see if there's an issue with your water treatment system or something. You would get it onto your device.
Internet of Things.
So there's technology out there,
Probably not one of them buildings what's caused it, but we don't know.
That's
good. It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you don't hear of it very often, but it hits the news when it comes. You know,
so. The last thing you want is after COVID-19 outbreak, having to deal with the legionnaires. Most probably you will have to close your building, and lots of ramifications after that. Things like reputation.
And I would have thought as well, the other side of that is it's probably not on the front of people's minds because we've been dealing with what else we're dealing with.
Some people trying to save costs, cut down maintenance on water treatment. It's expensive to get water samples and send to outside lab and do a test down. So
true.
So
it's all wrapped up in it. Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.